100% I was in my element. I was thriving. So picture, if you will, Edinburgh is buzzing. There are so many people. I think it doubles in size in population. The streets are full of people handing you flyers being like, come to see this show. You can barely walk down the Royal Mile because there's so much going on, and then there's someone juggling over there, and there are 3 musicians playing over here, and it's, for me, it's my ideal. It's where I thrive, really.
We were outside in my mind that night.
3, 2, 1, go!
This is orange number 2.
My heart had a problem in the early hours, so I snapped it dead for a beat or two.
Hi, my name's Annie Lee, but if you're watching this, who are we kidding? You probably know me personally, so you know this. I busked to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival for the first time this year in 2022, and this is my experience. What is the Fringe Festival, I hear you ask? The Edinburgh Fringe Festival is the world's biggest arts and media festival. It was established in 1947, so hold on. It's been going for 75 years. Should have won this, because look, Fringe street events. Yeek. According to Wikipedia, in 2018, yes, I'm reading this, it spanned 25 days and featured more than 55,000 performances of 3,548 different shows in 317 different venues. There are loads of different kinds of shows, including theatre, comedy, dance, physical theatre, circus, cabaret, children's shows, musicals, opera, spoken word, exhibitions and events. And, of course, one of the biggest parts of the Edinburgh Fringe Festival are these street events. So people busking and doing circle shows. And this is what I was a part of. So yeah, how does it work? I think one of the most important things to note is that it is free to busk and join in the stuff. You sign up, you go on EdFringe, whatever the website is, I'll put it in the description. You go to take part and you put in all your details, and I kept waiting for it to be like, this is the fee to do this. But it's free. It does not cost you anything. You can pay for storage so you don't have to lug your gear there and back, but it is completely free to join. So yeah, you just register and then you turn up on the first day of the Fringe. You collect your pass from just off the Royal Mile. And then how it works is every single morning at 10 a.m. there is a draw at West Parliament Square where you put your pass in the hat, and then the names get drawn and everyone who hears their name queues up, and then you put your name in the slot that you want to play. There are half-hour slots that you can do, and then once everyone's been drawn, you go back up the list. So usually you can do 2 to 3 slots a day, and then you just hang out until it's your turn to go, essentially. The good thing about the draw is that basically you can decide every single day if you want to go or not. Like if it's bucketing it down, no one's going to be like, where are you? Why aren't you here? It's raining. I usually played 2 slots because 3 was just too much for me. Essentially, I had my microphone, mic stand, guitar, amp, sign, tip sign, and I think that's everything. And it fit in a suitcase that I would lug around. You can get storage, you can pay for storage, and you can put it in the containers. It costs £35 for the entire month of the Fringe, or that's what it was this year. Please do buy storage. Now, I didn't buy storage for the first few days, and I was lugging my stuff there and back every single day. Just do it. It's totally worth it. It won't get stolen. It'll be fine. My set list. So I opened with Valerie.
Why don't you come on over, Valerie?
When You Were Young by The Killers.
When you were young.
Just Like Heaven by The Cure.
You, strange as angels.
Come Here by Kath Bloom.
Come here.
Stand By Me by Benny King. Trouble by Cage the Elephant. Sometimes I'd play Do I Wanna Know by Arctic Monkeys. And I'd also play, every time, No Mirrors in Heaven by yours truly. So I was actually surprised by the amount of money that I made. The worst day was day 1. I didn't have a sign. I didn't have an amp with me. It was a very windy day, so my guitar case kept shutting. I kept having to stop and open it up again. It was awful. It was awful. And I made £1.16. I think all those were pity donations by people. But it did get better from then on. I got better at, talking to people throughout my performance. I had an amp, I had a sign, you learn. So on my best day, I even cracked the £100, which is a very, very good hourly rate, seen as though I think I played 3 slots that day. So that would have been 1.5 hours. So overall, really good experience. The best thing was that we got these signs from busk.co, where you can scan to tip. I might add the percentage of my overall earnings and how much of that was online here. I'll add that once I've figured it out. It's free to sign up to busk.co. Busk.co are amazing. Please check out busk.co. Busk.co are great. Do it. Also, write down how much you made. I thought it was just really interesting to see the best week. So for me, the second week was the best week. Week 3 kind of dipped and week 4 picked up again. Cool. Things that I learnt. The most important things. It was actually just really good to be playing every single day. I built up quite the resilience. I didn't build resilience. Robust? What's the word? My fingers were very calloused. Is what I'm trying to say. So, do's and don'ts. Let's do the do's. Must do number 1, make a sign. It was absolutely wild to me how many people will look at your sign first before they even look at you. Like they walk, they see the sign, then they see you. You need to have this. Tip number 2 that I've already said, sign up to busk.co and get an online tip sign. Do number 3, talk after and during your set. I know you will feel stupid, especially if you're on your own. There is not a single person watching you and you're like, why would I say, hello, I'm gonna play a song. Do it. You have to actually say the words, follow me online, check out my Spotify.
This next song is an original. It is called No Mirrors in Heaven, and you can find it on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, wherever you listen to your music, it'll be there. My name is Annie Lee, I'm a singer-songwriter. It's a complicated spelling, which is why I made a sign. If you type in what's there, you should find me.
The amount of people who literally when you say, type it in, would take out their phones and type it in. It's wild, but you have to say it, otherwise they won't do it, even though it's like there. That's the end of my pep talk on talking during your songs. Do number 4, have an amplifier. It really does make a massive difference. The Fringe is extremely competitive on the Royal Mile. Everyone is like noisy, and if you have an amp, you'll be heard. Even if you can just borrow one from a friend, or you can get a second-hand one. Do 5, put money in your case before you start, so that people know that's what they're supposed to be doing. I usually put in some £2 coins, some £1 coins, and then a 50p and a 20p or something like that. I know someone who always puts in a £5 note. Don't put in pennies, because otherwise people think they can give you pennies. And I know you might feel silly if you put it in just before you play. Yes, but that's just the way of the world. We roll. Do number 6. If you're a busker singer like me, do your vocal exercises every single day. Yes, you might annoy your neighbours. I definitely annoy my neighbours. Hi neighbour, if you're listening, you can probably hear me through the wall. Number 7, say thank you to the people who are tipping you. In between my song, like in the middle of my song, I would just be like, thank you. It kind of encouraged more people to throw it in, because then they'd be like, ooh, I want to have her say thank you to me. I don't know if that's true, but that's the vibe that I got. And I just think it's just nice, because they don't have to be giving you money. Do number 8, bring a packed lunch if you are a student and don't have financial means to buy lunch every day. 9, I already said it, but get storage. Don't do to yourself what I did to myself. Get storage. Number 10, wear some fun colours. Or just something that makes you stand out. There are loads of photographers that walk up and down the Royal Mile and taking pictures, and I found that I think I got photographed quite a lot because of the blue hair and because I was usually wearing this. Number 11, be nice to the performers and the Fringe staff. They work really hard and they do really, really good job, and just build positive relationships. You might be surprised at what collaborations can come of that. Just hanging out with other musicians, chat to them, and just build that community.
Come kick it with you. You'll be my American boy.
That's what got me going to the draw. is that you see everyone for at 10 a.m. in the mornings, and it's just really nice. Tip number 12, watch other performers. Just see how they do things, see how they interact with people, and learn from them. There are so many people just that you can see for free doing an amazing job. Like, why would you miss out on that? Do number 13, get your friends to come and support you. It's always helpful if there's someone there to get people stopping, because as soon as a few people are stopping, people will be like, oh, what's this? It's really interesting how crowd mentality works. Do number 14, go and see as many shows at the Fringe as you can. There's like a free Fringe book organised by time, so you can see what time you can do. It's just really cool, and why would you miss out on such a cool opportunity? And the don'ts. Do not bash your guitar skills. I always want to bash my guitar skills. It's fun to be self-deprecating, but it's not good. Don't do it, however tempting it may feel. Don't, number 2, don't be disheartened on a bad day. Like I said, on day 1, I made £1.16. On day 2, I think I upped that by and I made £11 something. It's rough, it's tough, it's the streets. You're literally playing in the streets, and that's tough. It's not that you're bad. I know, I did this, I was like, oh, what if I was just bad today? You probably weren't. You were probably great. You roll, you do it again, you build resilience. It's cool. 3, don't waste your energy and know your limits. Yes, I just said, do all the things, watch all the performances. There was one day in which I only played one set. So, let it be said, a little surprise this morning was, got my period 6 days early. So my energy level went from, to... So instead of 2 shows, I played 1 bad set. Now I'm at home and in bed and crashing. It's how we roll. Some days are shambles. All we can do is show up and listen to your bodies and go home. Know when to rest. Ooh, I look like a terrier. My gosh, the Fringe. Let's hop into the highlights and the lowlights. My absolute highlight was one fateful day. Mum, Dad, I've made it. A child came up to me after a song and goes, can I have your autograph? And hands me her pen and paper. I didn't even know what my autograph was. I can't, it was so cute. That's it, I've made it. It's only going to go downhill from here. There was one time where there was a family watching, and both the parents were wearing sunglasses, so I couldn't see their face, and they looked very unimpressed the whole time. And usually I try to make eye contact with people in the audience, you try and smile at them, you try and build a connection, and they just weren't having it. They were just like, and I was thinking, why are they staying for so many songs when they hate it so much? So I finished my set, and the lady comes up to me and she said, you just made me cry. That was so moving. Her and her husband work with musicians back in Italy, where they're from, and she just said to me, she said, you'll go far. And I was like, thank you. I was so overwhelmed because I thought that they weren't even enjoying it. I also fly pitched occasionally, which is when you play on not some of the Edinburgh Fringe pitches on the Royal Mile, but just elsewhere. And I played Victoria Street, and I was just about to finish, and I said, oh, this is my last song. And then these 2 people behind me were like, oh man, we just sat down here in this cafe to have coffee so we could listen to you play. And I was like, what? Oh my gosh. Also, some people came to see me multiple times, and they would tip me multiple times, and I'm like, what are you doing? You already tipped me yesterday, thank you. There were a few people who would often flyer in my vicinity, and by the end, or just by a few weeks or a few days, they started singing along to all of my songs that I play, including No Mirrors in Heaven. I did also do the Portobello Beach Busk, which happens once a year, and the entire promenade along Portobello, there's just people playing. It's chaos and mayhem, but amazing.
Know that I'm in love with you, that I'm in love with you.
And the best thing that happened there was a child who started breakdancing, as in a small child. A small child, I think maybe 5 or 6, started breakdancing during one of my songs. Also, wear sun cream, really, otherwise you will burn like a crisp. Funny things that happened to me were people taking pictures with me, and I don't mean photographers, but people posing with me in the picture while I was playing. So there was one time where I was just in the middle of a song, and this family just grouped left and right of me and were like posing, and someone was getting a picture of them, and I was just like, hello. One of the Fringe Street Events staff was walking past like mouthing like, are you okay? They kept giving their children more money to put in my case, so I wasn't complaining. And there was also another time when I got sent a picture of myself in the background and this person in the front just posing again like this, and I was just in the background. I don't know, it's one thing if you get a video of me and then post it online, and it's another thing to be like, oh, can we get a picture? But it was so bizarre, as if I was kind of, I don't know, just a building or something, or a site. It was hilarious. Some lowlights included once being shouted at by someone that there was supposed to be no busking amplification here on Victoria Street, and I was just like, oh, okay, well, there's not a sign here. But I'd say if there's someone who's shouting at you, be nice to them, because they're not expecting you to be kind. They're expecting you to meet their grrr with more grrr. This man literally came up to me and was like, this is me being nice. And I tried to empathize and was like, oh, do you live close to you? Like, oh, it must be really a lot for you during the Fringe and stuff. And he was just like, yeah, this is me being nice. Like, I can call the police, turn it down. Know the rules in Edinburgh is you only have to turn it down if the police tells you to turn it down. Obviously, turn it down if someone asks, but also know your rights. And he was just being really rude. Be kind to people even when they're not kind to you, because that makes a difference. So, last words. Overall, I loved the experience of busking at the Fringe. I actually think it was a really cool way to start my busking journey. You are kind of just thrown in the deep end because the Fringe is so competitive. There's so many people, so many sounds going on, so much happening. But at the same time, it's kind of ideal to start because no one's going to look at you weird for setting up to busk because everyone is busking, and also you don't need to decide where am I going to busk, how long am I going to busk for, because all those parameters are decided for you. In a weird way, yes, it is intense to busk there for the first time. It also is just really nice and cool, and you have this community of buskers that you see every morning at 10 a.m, which is just awesome. So I 10 out of 10 recommend to a friend to just do it. What am I going to do differently next year, I hear you ask? Well, I will have a different amp because I will hopefully be using a loop station. I now have a loop station. So I'll have a different amp. I'll be looping. Like I said, I'd love to have CDs to give away for a donation. I will definitely get storage from day one, and I will be playing more originals. Mainly why I wasn't playing originals is because I don't know my own chords. Know your own chords. I actually saw a massive increase in No Mirrors in Heaven. Those streams went up majorly because that was the one that people knew. You know, whoa, oh my goodness. Hang on, kids. What's the point in having, oh, hello. What's the point in having a Fringe hoodie if you don't wear it for the video? 75 years. Oh yeah, of course. If you enjoyed this video, wait, I need to put in this scrunchie. It matches, see? Please subscribe to my tiny YouTube channel. It would mean a lot. You can also watch my music videos that I've made, and you can watch acoustic versions of my songs. You can watch a video about my album. You can watch all kinds of videos if you want to see them. You can request videos in the comments. You can also follow me on Instagram, where I am a lot more active than on YouTube because, quite frankly, YouTube frightens me. You can also follow me on TikTok, which also frightens me. You can like this video, you can share it with a friend, you can share it with a musical friend whom you think should be busking at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. I think that's everything. Is it really a video with me if I don't have the elf ears in? I mean, oh my goodness. Falling over. I've missed these ears. This makes me so happy. Woohoo. How do you end a video?